my name is Crystal Riddle, and today I'm going to be talking about different types of wraps you can do on your horse. This is Blue, and he's going to be our horse today that we're going to perform our wraps on. The wraps that we're going to talk about today are the polo wrap or polo bandage, a foot bandage, a standing wrap or a stable bandage, a stack wrap, or in a wound care or like wound wrap. Okay, the first bandage I'm going to talk about is the polo bandage or polo wrap. A lot of times these are used for athletic horses or sport horses to protect the tendons on the back of the cannon, and a lot of times it's used for style as well. These come in a lot of different colors. For the polo bandage, you want to make sure that you wrap adequately enough to cover all the structures you want to cover while adding protection as well.
When I apply a polo wrap, I want to make sure that I'm starting at the top of the cannon, just at the base of the knee. When I make each pass around the leg, I ensure that the spacing is as even as I can make it. This will prevent any uneven pressure throughout the leg. Uneven pressure can cause a bandage bow or a bowed tendon from an improper wrapping technique. When I get to the bottom of the leg, I bring my wrap down around the fetlock, making sure to cover the ergot. As I come back up at a 45-degree angle, I create a small upside-down V at the base of my wrap. Coming back up the leg, again, I make sure to make my spacing even. As I get to the top, my Velcro should be facing out, which is a good thing, as this can prevent my horse from catching the Velcro accidentally, causing the wrap to come undone. When I'm finished and I latch my Velcro, I check my wrap to make sure there's no wrinkles or any kinks or uneven spacing in this polo wrap.
Okay, for the standing wrap, which is the wrap I'm going to do next, a lot of times it can be called either a standing wrap or a stable bandage. It does the same thing. This kind of wrap can be used over a wound care wrap or like a wound bandage, or it can be used in a situation such as if your horse has a tendency to stock up, or if they're an athletic horse who's going to be standing around a lot. It can be used to prevent fluid accumulation whenever a stocking up occurs. I'm going to use a quilted wrap or a pillow wrap, either would suffice, and I'm going to be using a track bandage to wrap over the quilted wrap when I'm finished.
When I apply a standing wrap or stable bandage, I want to start with my quilted wrap or pillow wrap. The beginning of the wrap will be slightly wrapped around the cannon and then rolled back around the tendon toward the inside of the leg. The tension of the quilted wrap needs to be enough to apply slight pressure, but not enough to damage the structures within the leg. My standing wrap will fall slightly below the fetlock and will stay just below the knee. Next, I will grab my track bandage. The end of my track bandage needs to be tucked into the end of the pillow wrap until I can make one full pass around the leg. This will help the bandage stay in place as I am applying it. Then, I will wrap the track bandage around the leg similar to how I applied the polo bandage earlier on in the video. You will want to make sure that your passes are even throughout the wrap. This will prevent any uneven pressure along the leg. As I am making my way down with my track bandage, I am applying slight pressure throughout each pass. As you go around, you want to make sure that you're applying most of your tension around the cannon bone and not around the tendons on the back of the leg. This will help prevent injury due to improper wrapping techniques. When I get to the bottom, I want to gently cup the fetlock with the track bandage and start my way back up the leg. As you can see, I have left about an inch or so of quilted wrap visible at the bottom of the standing wrap. I will also do this at the top of the bandage as well. When I have gotten to the top, I will latch the Velcro in place and make sure there are no wrinkles or kinks in this standing wrap. After I latch the Velcro, and I look over my standing wrap to make sure that I like it and that the wraps are even, I will gently wiggle the wrap to make sure that it's snug enough to stay on, but it's not too tight as to cause any injuries or problems with this horse.
The next wrap or bandage that we're going to look at is the wound wrap. This is going to involve covering a wound with all of your basic first aid needs, but then also covering that wrap with another stable bandage or standing wrap. For this kind of wrap, I'm going to need a piece of telfa or a piece of gauze. I'm going to need my ointment of choice, some brown roll gauze, some elasticon, and then for the standing wrap, I'll need, again, the pillow wrap or quilted wrap and the track wrap.
I'm going to start with a piece of telfa pad and apply my desired ointment to the telfa pad. For this part, I'm going to avoid putting my fingers into the ointment itself, and instead I will use the telfa pad to pick up some ointment for me. This practice just keeps the process a little bit cleaner. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to pretend that Baloo has an injury to the lower section of his leg along the outside of the cannon bone. I will gently apply my ointment and Telfapad to the area and let it stick itself to the leg while I pick up my next piece of bandaging material. Next, I will be using brown roll gauze to cover the Telfapad and keep it in place. Gently roll the gauze around the leg, covering the desired area. When using roll gauze, it is not necessary to apply pressure. I will then use my scissors to cut off the gauze when I've reached the amount I need. The gauze will stick in place until I can pick up the next piece I need for this wrap. I am going to use a quilted wrap very similar to the one I used in the previous standing wrap. You will apply a standing wrap over the wound just like you would a normal standing wrap in any other situation. You want to use the same technique and amount of pressure to the leg as you would for a regular standing wrap. And again, make sure you tuck the track wrap into the quilted wrap so you can make one full pass without the wrap coming undone. You always want to take the time to make sure you are applying proper pressure and you are making equidistant passes throughout the wrap, regardless of what kind of wrap you're doing. Just like the previous standing wrap, you want to leave about an inch or so of the quilted wrap showing at the top and bottom. It is important to note that if you wanted to apply elasticon to the top and bottom of the wrap to prevent dirt or shavings from entering the wrap, that is completely appropriate to do so. When I get to the end of my wrap, I will pull the Velcro around the front or the outside of the wrap to make sure that my horse doesn't catch the Velcro while he's in his stall. To add extra security to this wrap, I will be applying masking tape over the Velcro strap on the track wrap. This will help prevent the Velcro strap from catching on something and coming undone. Bring the tape around the leg in a spiral pattern 1 to 2 times to ensure that there is no accidental uneven pressure anywhere on the leg. If the wrap comes undone while the horse is in his stall, it can create a potentially dangerous situation. This can help us avoid that completely.
This next wrap that I'm going to be talking about is called a stack wrap. It's called the stack wrap because it's made of 2 different wraps, one that stacks on top of the other. This kind of wrap is going to be used in a situation if you have some kind of injury or laceration on the upper portion of the leg. For this kind of wrap, you're going to need 2 different pieces of pillow or quilted wrap. One's a little bit taller than the other. You're also going to need 2 individual pieces of track bandage. One's going to be for one wrap, one's going to be for the other, and they kind of wrap, you'll see later on, one layers over the other to make it one long piece. Last thing we're going to need is a pair of scissors and some elasticon. The elasticon I'm going to apply at the top and bottom of the wrap to kind of help keep it in place and seal any dirt or shavings and keep that out of the wrap.
Before you start any wrap, you always want to make sure there is no shavings or debris on the area you want to wrap. Baloo's legs are nice and clean for this video, so we can begin wrapping. Similar to the standing wrap, we will apply the quilted wrap to the leg starting at the front of the cannon just below the knee. You might notice that I'm using a quilted wrap that is a little bit longer than my previous wraps. This is to ensure the wrap stays in place and does not slide down onto the foot. Many refer to this as the anchor phase of a stack wrap. As I wrap around the leg, I check to make sure each pass is equidistant to the previous pass. Just like before, I want to make sure I have no wrinkles in my track wrap, and I want to make sure my quilted wrap is snug but not too tight. As I mentioned previously, wrapping any bandage or wrap too tightly can cause a bandage bow. Just like with our previous standing wraps, you want to make sure that you leave about an inch or so of space at the bottom and the top of the wrap. Once you get closer to the top, seal off your Velcro. Check your bandage to make sure it's not too tight or too loose, and you can begin the top portion of the stack wrap. Once you're ready, you can grab the materials you need to start wrapping the top portion of the stack wrap. The key to the stack wrap is to use the shelf or the top ledge of the bottom wrap to keep the upper portion elevated. As you're moving along with your top stack wrap, it's okay to make small adjustments here and there as needed as you're wrapping the leg. Once you're finished with the quilted bandage, pick up your track wrap and start wrapping the top portion of the stack wrap. It's important to note that it makes it easier to wrap the track wrap around the quilted bandage if you tuck a portion into the bandage until you can make your first pass around. As you are wrapping the top portion, bring the track bandage about halfway down the bottom wrap, and then work your way back to the top, making sure each pass is as even as possible. It's always important as you're wrapping to double check each pass you make around the leg to make sure there isn't any uneven spacing as you make passes around the leg, as this can cause uneven pressure and can spell disaster for any bandage or leg wrap. Again, it's totally okay if you need to make any small adjustments or if you need to move the track bandage around just slightly to make sure it looks nice and everything is even. Sometimes your horse may get tired of you wrapping his leg, so just be sure to stay patient. Next, I'm going to pick up my elasticon and apply elasticon to the top and bottom part of the stack wrap. Applying elasticon to the top and bottom of the wrap will add final support to the stack wrap, as well as keeping any debris out of the wrap. Again, no tension with the elasticon is needed. Simply lay strips of elasticon around the edges and press down to secure in place. I'm just applying enough elasticon to the bottom and top of the wrap to keep out any shavings or dirt or any debris that might make its way into the wrap, as this can make the wrap itchy and irritating, and it might cause the horse to want to try to pull it off or rip the wrap off. Now I'm going to make my way to the top of the wrap and apply elasticon to the top of my stack wrap. When I'm applying this material to the wrap, only half of the elasticon is sticking to the hair while the other half is sticking to the wrap itself. Again, sometimes your horse might get a little annoyed with you, so it's best to stay patient. It may look like I'm applying tension with the elasticon. However, elasticon is very sticky and very well conforming. It's best to apply as little pressure as possible when applying elasticon. Make sure you press down on your elasticon so it can do its job as effectively as possible.
This last wrap we're going to talk about is going to be a foot wrap or foot bandage. This can be used in cases of if your horse throws a shoe and you need to wrap the foot to protect it, or if your horse has an abscess, you can use an ichthymol or other drawing salve with a telfa pad and then wrap the foot that way. I'm going to talk about the grid we can use with duct tape to protect the wrap after it's applied. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about that now. For the duct tape, there are a couple different ways that people like to make this duct tape grid, but I'm going to use like the cross method, as people call it. And you want to make strips of tape that are a little uneven in size. They kind of gradually go from big to small, from middle to outside. So we're going to go ahead and tear this first piece This is going to be our middle piece. And then from there, we're just going to make them smaller and smaller as we move our way out. I'm going to make another 2 pieces about the same length and apply them to the other side of our middle strip. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Then I'm going to apply another 2 or 3 pieces across the middle to make that T. Doesn't necessarily matter which method you use, as long as you're effective and you're able to protect the wrap well. Okay, got to take this off. I'm going to stick it. You need to be careful. Except if it's super sticky. Stick this there. After we apply the foot wrap and then we put our duct tape over top of the wrap, you can use additional pieces to support the pattern that you made with the duct tape the first time. So we're going to go ahead and move over to our horse.
Here I am starting with a roll of vet wrap and a baby diaper. Before I apply the foot bandage, I want to be sure there is no dirt or debris in the hoof. Baloo's hoof was picked prior to the video. I just wiped away some loose wood shavings. Unfold the diaper and apply it squarely to the hoof. Once the diaper is applied, pull snug around all the corners to make sure it's evenly placed onto the hoof. Undo the diaper fasteners and bring them around the sides of the hoof. Then stick the diaper to itself. Once the diaper is in place, it's important not to set the hoof down yet because we want to keep the diaper clean. Next, take the roll of vet wrap and begin wrapping around the hoof. Be careful here because vet wrap is very stretchy and you want to take precaution not to wrap over the coronary band or the hair above the hoof. At this point, you can begin wrapping around the hoof in all directions. It's best to cover every angle of the diaper so that way it's not exposed to any dirt or wood shavings. Once you have all angles of the diaper covered, take the vet wrap and stick it to itself. It should stick to itself fairly securely, and you can make small adjustments anywhere you need to make sure the wrap is clean and organized. After the vet wrap is secure, grab your duct tape grid we made before and stick the middle of the grid onto the middle of the hoof, making sure the longest piece of tape is facing the toe. Then, bring all the edges of the grid up and onto the front of the hoof. Now you can set the foot down to get more tape. Tearing off additional strips to line the toe is a good idea, as this adds additional protection to wear and tear, and you have a chance to make your hoof wrap look nice and clean. You can add as many strips to the toe as desired, as most of the time this is the part of the hoof wrap that tends to wear through the quickest. I am applying one last strip to the front of the hoof just to clean up the edges and make my foot wrap look a little bit nicer. When I looked at my hoof wrap, I noticed that I accidentally covered the coronary band and a little bit of hair with vet wrap, so I folded it down to make sure there was no pressure applied to the coronary band. And those were 5 routine wraps you can use on your horse. Thanks for watching.